London and Brussels are arguing over how the Brexit rules will be implemented in Northern Ireland. And otherwise, there is some trouble between the newly divorced. There are many important deadlines and dates for Brexit. The British left the EU on January 31st in 2020. However, this has only been noticeable for citizens and companies since January 1st, 2021, because the Kingdom was in the customs union and internal market of the EU until the end of the year. And in Northern Ireland, March 31st is set to be another decisive date. Then the first transition phase for goods deliveries between between Great Britain and Northern Ireland will end. Companies that then sell goods from Scotland, Wales and England to the former troubled province are threatened with new customs bureaucracy. It's not new in general, but new for Northern Ireland. Business associations and the British government warn that the companies need more time to prepare and are calling for this and other transition periods for Northern Ireland to be extended until at least the beginning of 2023, although they had more than a year now. However, the EU Commission that's going far too far. The Joint Committee therefore met by video conference on Wednesday. This body accompanies the implementation of the exit agreement. It is jointly managed by the responsible Commission Vice President Maros Šefčovič and the British Minister Michael Gove. I don't know why I always say Prime Minister Gove. For Gove, however, it is the last appearance. From March onwards, Lord David Frost will be in charge of EU relations in the UK Cabinet. Frost, a confidant of Prime Minister Boris Johnson, has negotiated the trade agreement with the EU and stands for a confrontational course towards Brussels. That won't simplify the complicated partnership between the newly divorced. The anger in Northern Ireland is igniting the provisions of the Protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland, which is part of the 2019 Withdrawal Treaty. It is intended to prevent customs officers from having to control and check trucks between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Therefore, the protocol stipulates that Northern Ireland will continue to comply with EU product rules and customs regulations despite Brexit. The logical consequence is that deliveries of goods from England or Scotland or Wales to Northern Ireland must be checked. After all, everything that lands in Northern Irish ports can then be transported into the EU internal market without further checks and controls, in theory. The new customs bureaucracy resulted in a shortage of goods in Northern Irish shops at the beginning of the year, in British shops, we know. After the first transition period expires at the end of March, these problems could worsen. Until then, for grocery deliveries to Northern Ireland's British supermarkets, freight forwarders will not have to prove that the goods meet EU health standards. And parcels with a value of less than 160 euros do not require a customs declaration. But that's going to change. In a letter to Gove, Commission Vice President Šefčovič did not completely rule out extending deadlines, but initially demanded that the British fully implement some of the obligations of the Northern Ireland Protocol, which they signed and is international law. Control posts at the Northern Irish ports are not yet fully operational. Ireland is the most affected by the dispute among EU members. Foreign Minister Simon Coveney considers moderate extensions to be conceivable and calls for flexibility within the limits set by the protocol. David McAllister also advocates pragmatism, but the Christian Democrat MEP rejects both an amendment and a fundamental review of the protocol, and he's right from my point of view. The real problem is the hard Brexit that London wanted. The protocol is part of the solution, and the British have to keep their promises. Companies and citizens have apparently not been adequately prepared for the changes. Prepared by London, he said in an interview. McAllister's word carries weight. In addition to the Foreign Affairs Committee in the EU Parliament, he also heads the Committee for Relations with the UK. The fact that this relationship is so difficult is not only due to Northern Ireland. The Johnson government insists on treating the head of the EU representation in London, the Portuguese João Vale de Almeida, worse than the ambassadors of nation states. He is denied the rights to which diplomats are entitled under the Vienna Convention. The Commission is pissed off, and McAllister says the EU cannot accept that. In Brussels, it is pointed out that the EU has 143 representations worldwide, and there are nowhere such problems. And the reaction is the new head of the British representation in Brussels has fewer access than usual. The fact that Lindsay Appleby does not get any appointments with the office manager of Council President Charles Michel is supported by all 27 EU members because they do not want to set a precedent, report EU diplomats. The British have dug themselves in there pretty deep, it is said. One will have to wait until London is ready for a U-turn, or for growing up, as others say. It is regrettable in Brussels that the British are currently unwilling to cooperate institutionally with the EU on foreign and security policy. As recently as 2019, both sides had sought an ambitious, close and lasting cooperation in the political declaration, but here too Johnson made a U-turn. The EU emphasizes that many offers would continue to apply. For example, participation in PESCO projects, that means permanent structured cooperation in the defense sector. And what was the answer from London? Thanks, we're not interested. What the British like, on the other hand, is the exchange in E3 format, that means with Germany and France. This has proven itself in the context of the Iran nuclear agreement, but Berlin is aware of the risk of undermining the EU foreign policy, which is not always uniform, especially since Italy, Poland and Spain, for example, are skeptical of the E3 format. McAllister also warns of a split and appeals to the EU states to act as unitedly as possible towards London. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel and to my other channels. I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.